Hello, if you are preparing for NECO GCE or NECO SSCE exams, then this question is for you. This question is the NECO 2023 paper 2 part 1 question and is on variation. Now, this is going to take us to an aspect of variation that once you finish watching this video, you can be able to treat other questions on variation. So, keep it on and watch this video to the end. You are going to enjoy this and you're going to know how to play around with the topic variation. The question says, this question, mind you, is for 8 marks. And so if you are sitting for any of these exams, be it GCE or WAEC, then you see question like this, just remember that if you finish doing this question, your 8 marks is ready. It says P varies directly as the square of Q and inversely as the cube of Z. When P is equal to 5, Q is equal to 3, and Z is equal to 1. Now you are asked to find 1, the relationship between P, Q, and Z, and 2, Z when P is 3 and Q is equal to 5. Now, generally speaking, we have direct, inverse, joint, and partial variation. Now, direct variation has to do with when one object varies with directly to another. That is, as this increases, the other does what? Also increases. Inverse variation has to do with when one object or one object varies inversely with another. Inversely means as this increases, the other does what? Decreases. Now, this one has to do with what we call directly and direct and inverse variation combined. Now, when we say something varies directly with 2 or more quantity, then we should be talking about joint variation. Now, if we look at that, the question says P varies directly as the square of what? As the square of Q. And inversely, and you know that inversely is this, as the cube of 2 of Z cube, right? And that is the variation. That is the relationship of that variation. Now, from the first question we're given that P is equal to 5, Q is equal to 3, and Z is equal to 1. Now, the first thing that should come to your mind is to look for the relationship between these two parameters. And for we to get the relationship, then we have to take away this constant, that proportionality sign, and replace it with a what? A constant. And once we do that, we'll have our P to be equal to that constant Q what? Q squared divided by Z what? Z cube. So this will form the relationship holding both of them. But then that is not the relationship. We need to input these parameters: P equal to 5, Q equals to 3, and Z equal to 1. So from our first solution, solution I, we're going to consider our P. They say P is equal to 5 from this relationship equal to, we're going to find the value of the constants equal to K and multiply by Q is equal to 3, that is 3 what? 3 squared, right? And all of this will be divided by Z is equal to 1, that is 1 to the power of 3. Now, if we simplify this, we are going to have 5 equal to 3 to the power of 2 is equal to 3 multiplied by 3, and that will be equal to 9. So that will give me K multiplied by 9 divided by 1 to the power of 3 is 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, and that will be equal to 1, right? Good, and that will give us 1. So in this instance, we are going to cross multiply, and if we cross multiply, we will have our 5 to be equal to 9K. And from here, our K, if we divide both sides by 9, divide here by 9, our K will be equal to 5 divided by 9. and this will be the value of our k. Now, having gotten the value of this k, the main thing we will now look at doing is to insert the value of that k into this parameter. Now, how do we do that? We have the value of k into that parameter. We're going to insert it over there. And so if we insert it there, we'll have our p to be equal to k, which is 5 divided by 9 multiplied by q squared divided by z what? Z cube. Right? And if we bring that together, we'll have our p now to be equal to 5q squared divided by 9z cube. And this is the relationship holding that equation. Fine. So now we've gotten the relationship and we don't need all this any longer. What we need to work with is the relationship holding those parameters. Now the relationship holding the whole parameter is p equal to 5q squared divided by 9z cube, and that is the solution to question number I. Now you get that is 4 mark gone. So once you have done that, you've gotten your 4 marks. So the next thing you now start thinking about is to get your second 4 mark. Now the II question now says you should find z when p is equal to 3 and q is equal to 5. Now if you look at this parameter, we have quantity p, q and z. We don't have any value attached to them. Now we can find z if we are given p and we are given what? Q. Now all you need to do first is to make z the subject of formula. Now if you are not good at subject of formula, you might get this wrong. I advise my student not to input the parameter first because you might end up getting it wrong, but rather do the subject formula, get the subject formula first and then input your parameter. Boom, you find your answer. Very, very easy. Now before we impart the parameter, the quantity for p and q, let's make z the subject of formula because we aren't given z we don't know, p is equal to 3 and then q is equal to 5. Good. Now let's make z the subject of formula. Now to make z the subject of formula, there is something we must do. We must multiply both sides by 9z cubed. That way we can clear a fraction. So we'll have our p multiplied by 9z cubed equal to, we'll multiply the other side by 9z cubed. We'll have 5q squared divided by 9z cubed multiplied by 9z cubed. That way 9z cubed will clear out 9z cubed. And then we'll have our what? 9pz cubed equal to 5q squared. So what do? We want z cubed to be the subject of formula. We can divide both sides by 9p. If we divide both sides by 9p, that way 9p can clear off 9p and we'll have our z3, z to the power of 3 to be equal to 5q squared, right, divided by 9p. We are not done because we are not asked to look for z to the power of 3. We are asked to look for the value of what? Z. So for we to clear this tree, what do we need to do? As a good student, you should know that to clear cube, you need to take the cube root of what? Both sides. Very good. So if we take the cube root of both sides, we are going to take the cube root of z to the power of 3 equal to the cube root of 5q squared divided by 9p. That way, cube can clear cube root, and then we'll have our z to be equal to the total cube root of 5q squared divided by 9p. and that is what we can use to find the value of our z. Now, do you see that? Now, if you insert your parameter now, you can get your answer very, very fast. Now, let's clear off this. We don't need them. We can clear off this and then find the solution to our question. Now, let's clear off all this. Now, if we insert the value of our p into that parameter, if we insert the value of our p into that parameter, now if we insert the value of our p and 5 into that parameter, we're going to have our z to be equal to the total cube root of 5 multiplied by our q is 5 square, right, divided by 9 multiplied by 3. That way our z can be equal to the total cube root of 5 square is going to give us what? 5 square is going to give us 25, right? Now 25 times 5 is going to give us 125. Great. Or if you want to easily do this, you can say this is 5 to the power of what? 3, because this is 1, right? And that will make your solution very, very easy. Divided by, this is 3 square, and here we have 3 to the power of 1, right? So if you use that you can get it easily, and all this will be cube roots. So this is going to give us what? The cube root of 5 to the power of 3 divided by 3 to the power of 3. Do you see that? With that now, cube can clear off cube root, cube can clear off cube root. Then the value of our z can be equal to 5 divided by 3. And that is the solution to that question. So you see, in mathematics you need to use your logical thinking and reasoning. Now somebody can start doing 5 multiplied by 25, 9 multiplied by 3, and you start wasting a whole lot of time. But with this, you can easily make this. You know that we have 3 5s here, and according to the law of indices, you have 1 3, and that will give you 5 to the power of 3. That is the multiplication law of indices. And you have 3 to the power of 2 makes us 9, and then you have 3 3s here, that is 3 to the power of 3. When roots clears cube root, our result will be 5 divided by 3. So the result we'll have is this for A, and then this. Very easy. So when you're given a question under variation, feel free, take your time, look at the question very well, and logically think about how you can bring a solution to that question. If you did enjoy watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with friends and colleagues, and remember to subscribe to my channel for more simplified maths content. Thanks so much for watching, and look forward to seeing question number 2 solution in the next video. Bye bye.